What's up, guys? This is another episode of Law and Disorder.
With sunglasses.
Yeah. We wear our sunglasses at night. That's a song, by the way.
I'm getting my money's worth out of these. These were $6 whole.
Really? They're actually pretty nice for $6.
Don't they? I mean, they look nice. Like if you touch them and pick them up, they feel pretty crappy, like cheap plastic. But I would spend the money to get like Ray-Bans or something nice. But I always, every year, go through like 3 or 4 pairs of sunglasses because I either break them or lose them.
You know, before I had a kid, I would spend the money on Ray-Bans or Oakleys or whatever. And I think in my kid's first year, he broke one pair that was pretty old because I'll wear them until they break. He broke one that was pretty old. It's like, all right, cool, they're old sunglasses. I needed to get some new ones. And then like 3 months later, he broke the new pair. So after that, I was like, all right, no more. I'm not spending any more than like $30 on sunglasses.
Oh.
So now I buy like stuff from Express or the Buckle or whatever. But yeah, they're like $30. So if I break them, I don't feel bad.
Man, I'm even cheaper than you.
But now I have like my car passenger seat is full of sunglasses. Like $30 sunglasses.
These are from Old Navy. These were like $6.
They're not bad.
They look pretty good on camera. That's how I tricked you guys.
They're not bad, yeah.
See, I could have sat up here and been like, so these are, what are those
Ray-Ban?
fancy, like Ray-Ban, you know, whatever they're called. You know, I spent $120 on.
If you only spend $120 on Ray-Bans, you're doing well. Oh. So, in this particular episode, the sunglasses work for us.
Yeah, well, this is a dark episode, you guys.
We're talking death.
Death.
Like, a lot of death.
A lot happened this week.
Like, death came after us like a mofo this week.
Yeah, like, the Grim Reaper, like, was hungry and just stuffed himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the first one we should talk about? The one on top of the list? Okay.
So Waffle House Killer?
The Waffle House Killer. Now, you know, I did not check the news, and I wasn't on the internet too much this weekend, so I did not hear about this story until this afternoon.
Really?
I read about it, yeah, online. So there was this guy in Tennessee.
In Nashville,
Tennessee. Had a rifle, an AR-15.
he had an AR-15.
AR-15, drove up to a Waffle House, and apparently he was naked, and all he had on was like a green jacket, I believe.
Yeah, he walked up in there at like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And started shooting up.
Shot 2 people outside the building, killed them. Walked inside, shot 2 people inside the building, killed them. I think 2 other people were injured, but they're in the hospital. And then this Good Samaritan in there ended up, when he heard the gun stop firing, tackled him and wrestled the gun away from him and like threw it over the counter.
Yeah.
And then the shooter just got up and like ran away.
And they didn't catch him until today. They caught him a couple hours ago. So
when was the actual shooting?
It was like 3:30 in the morning, Sunday morning.
So over 24 hours later.
Yeah, they finally caught him. But they interviewed the Good Samaritan, and the guy's like, I'm not a hero.
I did that to save my life.
Yeah, he was honest with him. He's like, I did that to save my life.
Yeah.
He goes, I saw that there was an opportunity. He goes, I wasn't gonna die without a fight, because he had been shot, but he wasn't like mortally injured. But yeah, he grabbed the barrel of this AR-15. He burned the shit out of his hand because he grabbed it and then he pulled it away from him, and he had like a big burn mark on his hand and stuff. And yeah, he tackled the guy and wrestled him out, and the guy took off. But I mean, yeah, he is a hero because he still chose to act. But at the same time, yeah, I'm with him. Like, well, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna at least try and take this dude out with me. You know, I don't want to die behind like a door. Fuck that. I'd rather just take him out.
Exactly.
Or try to.
I'm not as big as you, and I'm probably not as big as a person as that guy was. So I know if I was ever in a situation like that, I'm probably not going to be able to tackle somebody to the ground. I don't have the strength.
You'd be surprised how much adrenaline will hit you.
I'm not saying I wouldn't put up a fight, but I don't know like all at once if I'd be able to do it. I don't know what my strength would be in that moment compared to the person I'm trying to take down, because their adrenaline's pumping too. So they probably.
I think he was on drugs though. I think he was like.
He's messed up.
Heavily
I read,
on drugs.
Like mental issues. He's probably on drugs, the whole shebang. But that's why I have a CHL, because I mean, I took the class. I know what to do. I know how to shoot my gun and God forbid I was ever in a situation like that, and I was in a Waffle House, and that happened while I was in there, I'm pulling out my gun to stop him from shooting me.
Right.
And then if I can't tackle him, I'd shoot him to stop him from potentially ending my life. And then, because I'm thinking about me as much as I would love to think about everybody else and trying to save their lives and be that person.
Yeah, you want to save your own life.
This is happening within 10 seconds. Like, you're thinking about you and what you have to do to save your life and stop him. So I totally get it. But he did a great thing, and he ended up saving lives. So,
and they caught the bastard.
job.
That's the good thing. They caught him. He'll have to stand trial for all of his sins or whatever you want to call it. So that it ended on a happy note. They at least caught him. There was nobody else injured. We had more death. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Avicii.
Is it Avicii?
Avicii is his stage name. I forget what his real name is.
Well, he was a DJ. He was Swedish
DJ, 28 years old.
And he passed away on Friday. I believe it was Friday.
420.
Yeah. Oh, it was 420. Okay. He passed away suddenly. I know he'd been battling some issues, like some physical issues.
Yeah, I think he was struggling with like a lot of anxiety, which caused him to drink a lot, which caused him to get like his appendix taken out. And did he have like pancreas issues? I think possibly. So I think the anxiety led to drinking, which led to a lot of major health problems.
Yeah, it wasn't suicide, but like he gradually deteriorated.
He had a lot of self-destructive.
Yeah, he deteriorated.
Things he was doing, which alcoholism is a disease, and I can't imagine being in his shoes, like being a famous DJ trying to make music and tour. Didn't it say he did like 800 shows in a year?
Yeah, he did something crazy. Like he was very much a workaholic. And
there's only 365 days in a year.
I know, but if you do like 2 or 3 shows a day, you can get 800.
How long were his shows?
I mean, it's a DJ, so it's like a set, like an hour, 2-hour set.
Okay.
But I mean, if you're balls to the wall, yeah, you could. There's 12. What? There's.
I'm not
24
saying it's
hours
not
in a day.
impossible, but oh my god.
24 hours
no
in a day.
No wonder he drank.
You knock out like a lunch show, a dinner show, then like an after party show.
Okay, so you do. Let's say he did an average of 3 to 4 shows a day.
Yeah, probably 20. I'd say about 90 minutes.
Three shows a day, and then you probably went out and partied after, because that's what DJs.
Well, you probably just stayed up. I mean, you probably started that party at noon and just kept it rolling until it was all over at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah, and so you're probably drinking during that time, possibly taking in some other drugs. Not saying he did, but I can see that. I would be taking position of that lifestyle, probably taking drugs. Who knows how much sleep this guy got? I mean, sleep is such an important part of a healthy lifestyle. If you don't get enough sleep, you start hallucinating and your body just shuts down.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh my god, he probably got no sleep. That's probably half the reason he was so sick.
Yeah, and you're right. You do have to get enough sleep. I've learned that in my old age.
Yeah.
So he passed on. Vern Troyer, aka Mini-Me from the Austin Powers movies, he passed away on Friday as well.
Aww.
Was it Friday or was it Saturday? It may have been Saturday.
I think it was Saturday.
But he passed away, and they're not saying it was suicide, but based on some of the posts that you've seen online and some of the stuff that they've hinted at, he battled a lot of depression. He had a lot of medical problems because obviously he was a little person and they have medical problems. But yeah, he passed away this week as well. Really cool dude. I knew some people that have met him that had partied with him. They're like, yeah, he was 2'9", but he partied like he was a grown person. Like he partied like an adult, like a guy my size.
Man.
So I had a buddy of mine, a radio buddy of mine, that actually went with him to go test drive a Ferrari. Like he went in, like Vern Troyer obviously had to get, like he had like a little cart that he had to get around in and stuff. Mm-hmm. And my buddy got out and he went to the dealership. He went in the dealership. He's like, hey, my buddy wants to test drive your car. He wants to test drive whatever car it is. Like, all right, well, who's your buddy? Like Vern Troyer. Like, oh, okay. And they're like, well, yeah, if he comes in here, we'll let him drive it. But they kind of didn't really take him seriously. And yeah, sure enough, he shows up, he wheels in, and they're like, oh, it's Vern Troyer. He wants to test drive my Ferrari. Go for it. Yeah, but they said he used to just, back in the heyday, back when he first got big in the late 90s, early 2000s, yeah, he was partying it up. And he'd been on some episodes of was it VH1 had the Surreal Life? Was that the one with the celebrities that like lived in the house together? I think it was the Surreal Life, Surreal World or something like that. He was on that. He was on there with Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice had good things to say about him. Mike Myers had good things to say about him, who was on the Austin Powers movies with him. Ludacris did some stuff with him. He had good things to say about him. Overall, he was a good dude. Like, he was a well-liked individual.
I'm sure.
But he had his demons too, and on his Facebook and his Twitter, he had a pretty good chronicle of his struggles, even up until like a couple of days before he passed. So it's kind of sad, kind of going up with the Avicii thing is like, you're famous, you got all the money in the world, you got people that love you or pretend to love you and all that, and you're still just not happy.
Yeah. Or it's the pressure of the industry and the job, and
yeah,
I don't know. Like, you want to be rich and famous and have all this money and be able to do whatever you want, but then you think about the pressure of the actual job, and it's like, I don't know. Like, do I really want like 20 million followers on Twitter? Like, if I say one thing, it's gonna blow up and it's gonna reach all 20 million people, and all 20 million people are gonna know what I said and comment about me and make me feel bad.
Well, the other thing about being famous like that, especially musicians and even actors, like the actors that are really good that get into these roles really seriously, you have to go to a really dark place to get to some of these things. Like Heath Ledger, for example, when he was the Joker in The Dark Knight, he like turned into the Joker. He had to go to really dark places in his head to get that sadistic to play the character. Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, guys like that wrote some pretty deep music, but you had to go into places that you probably don't want to go to create that music. Like, you have to go inside yourself and look at all your faults and your demons and all that to create this genius. So yes, it is like a double-edged sword. It's like, yeah, you're going to be rich and famous and you're going to have all the money in the world and you're going to have a good life for you and your family, but you got to go to some really shitty places to get there. So it's a really big trade-off.
Damn, that's deep.
I mean, it is a really big trade-off. You had the young lady from the Southwest Airlines flight. Southwest Airlines had an incident Tuesday. Yeah, the day before I left for Vegas. Mm-hmm. And the engine blew, and
I guess a piece of Sharpnel flew off and hit the window.
And it sucked her in, or sucked her out, or started to, I guess. I think it started sucking her out, and people were holding on to her.
Oh yeah, I think just the force from that caused her to die. I mean, that's got to be insane to get almost sucked out of an airplane. However high up you are in the air, like, your body can't handle that. No, and she was right by the window, obviously. Yeah.
But she was a mother of 3, or maybe it was a mother of 2. Pretty young. She was in her 40s. Mm-hmm. That accident was the first accident in Southwest Airlines' 50-plus year history. So kudos to them for not having issues before that. Mm-hmm. But obviously somebody lost their life. So it's very sad. And if I'm not mistaken, Southwest Airlines gave everybody on that plane a check for $5,000. Within like 48 or 72 hours, they had sent them all checks.
Wow.
For $5,000, apologizing for the incident and hoping that they can gain their trust to come back to Southwest Airlines. So they were giving it to everybody, not just who knows what they gave the family. But that's pretty cool of an airline to just say, hey, our bad. This is just something for the headache, for the hassle. Mm-hmm. And then obviously they'll take care of the family.
Yeah.
Barbara Bush, former First Lady Barbara Bush.
Yeah.
She passed away she passed away Tuesday. But like on Sunday, they had announced on social media that she was going to stop all of her treatments because she had a lot of ailments. So it was only a matter of time before she was going to pass. But they did like a viewing, or it wasn't a viewing, they did like a closed casket thing where people could walk by and to pay their respects. And her husband, former President Bush, he was there. It was open to the public, and he sat there in his wheelchair, and he greeted every person that came by to pay their respects.
Oh my gosh.
So every citizen that just came through to pay their respects, he was sitting right next to her casket and thanking everybody for coming to see her. And then Saturday at the funeral, you had him, obviously, his son, former President George W. Bush, President Obama, Mrs. Obama, Mr. Clinton, Mrs. Clinton, Melania Trump was there.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, Donald Trump didn't go, but Melania was there. And they were the internet kind of blew up on that because they're like, wow, look, she smiles. She hasn't smiled in 18 months. We see her smile now. She was like cutting loose. It's like, this is life without Donald Trump on your ass. Like, there's like memes all over the place about that.
Dang.
But it was like a big week of death. Just like,
and those are just the main ones we saw in the news. We could be missing some. God, I don't know, man. It's just crazy. It's been a bad week for.
And you know what? This week started with life.
This week started with life. Yeah.
Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge. Her and Prince William
had a baby.
Yeah, they had a baby boy.
Yay!
They had a baby today. So, yeah, there's life. There's always life.
I brought this up to Sergio earlier, but I want to know how they make her look so good after just having a baby. Like, she walks out of that hospital holding the baby, and she looks thin, and her hair's perfect, and her makeup's perfect, and her outfit's perfect. Like, you had to gain some weight, like baby weight, during pregnancy. Like, that's healthy to gain weight when you're pregnant.
Not her.
And she looks like exactly the same. Like, what girdle or corset or however many pairs of Spanx she's wearing to hold whatever weight she gained in is incredible.
And
I don't know how they do it.
It's pretty funny because, like, she'll have the baby and it's like a day thing for her, at least. So, like, all right, you had the baby at 10. At 2, you're at the door, girl. Take your photo op, get on home, we'll take care of you.
You don't get to sit here and just relax. No. You got a schedule you got to stick to. You can't stay here all day. Oh, you think you'll be in labor for 12 hours? Huh? No. 1 hour. You're out.
In and out.
Stamp
Why is that? Even normal people.
Stamp the baby's the baby prints on the thing with the ink and get them out of here.
Even
Sign the birth
people,
certificate. Bye.
Even normal people get like a day or 2 in the hospital. Not her.
Does she get maternity leave from being the Duchess? Like, does she get like 6 or 9 weeks off or however long it is from being the Duchess just so she can, be a mom?
Well, what are her Duchess duties? What does she do?
Charity stuff, and I all I know is that she travels all the time. They go
You
everywhere.
have such a horrible life. You get to travel everywhere.
You're flying constantly, going to stuff.
She's like a insurance salesman that travels around the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fly around a private jet and go visit places and tell them how great you are.
Like, are you trying to set a world record to how many places you can go in your private jet within a year? Or
with your kids.
With your.
And her kids are awesome. Like, her kids are like perfect. They look so cute and they're always well dressed and they just look so like.
They probably have awesome nannies over there.
They look so cute, but I'm saying like you would think they would have like ugly. Everybody should have at least one ugly kid. No, their kids are like immaculate.
Everyone should have one ugly kid.
The perfect child. Like the perfect child, both of them. And now they have a third one.
Were you the ugly kid in your family?
No, I was the handsome child. Thank you very much. What about you?
No, I was cute.
Okay.
I was cute.
So cute kids go on and have a podcast. Ugly kids go on and rule the world.
College.
Go to college, rule the world. So, like I said, there's always death, but then there's always life. It's like Mufasa said, there's the circle of life.
Mm-hmm. It's like the phoenix that burns up and from the ashes a new one arises.
We got way too like.
We just got deep, you guys.
Really deep. I try to go like Lion King and you go.
Phoenix.
Yeah, you went Phoenix.
Like in Harry Potter.
Yeah, you went too far. Everybody knows Lion King. Nobody knows Harry Potter.
Everyone knows Harry Potter.
I don't know Harry Potter.
What do you mean you don't know Harry Potter?
I don't know Harry Potter. I know Disney and I know Mufasa.
You know Harry Potter.
I know who Harry Potter was, and I know.
Did you not read the books?
And I know how it started and how it ended, but I don't know anything in the middle.
Have you not read the books?
No, I read book number 1, and I watched the second half of the last movie.
What's wrong with you?
That's all I know.
These were like my childhood. Harry Potter. Every year or whatever other year or so, you looked forward to the next book coming out.
The whole Fantastic Beasts thing, I don't know anything about it. I've watched it, and I'm like,
I remember going to Barnes & Noble with my older brother, and I was probably, I think I was in high school. Mm-hmm. Maybe like I forget what year the last Harry Potter book came out. But I went to Barnes & Noble with my brother at like 7, 8 o'clock at night.
when it
And
came
Barnes
out.
& Noble was having this huge Harry Potter theme party. And it was so crowded there that the fire marshal was there and would only let people in as people came out.
It's like a
So we
rave.
had to wait in line for like 15 or 20 minutes just to get in. And then once we got in, my brother grabbed me and pulled me toward the back of the store and took me to the registers. He's like, stand here and don't move. And I was like, why? He's like, because you're in line to buy the book.
Nice.
And I was like, are you serious? And there was one guy in front of me already waiting in line.
Nice.
It's okay. It's like 8 o'clock at night. I stood in line for 4 hours when they released the book at midnight. And luckily there's like 5 registers and they were all ready with books there. So technically I was one of the first people to get a book because there's enough registers. And so we bought the book and left. And I remember I was so pissed after standing in line for 4 hours that I walked out of there, held the book up, and I was like, I got it. And I was like, let's open the book and read page 1. What's chapter 1 say?
God.
Let me ruin it for all of you.
Oh, that's jacked up. You're that person.
Oh my God. But I mean, it was worth it to get the book first. But I was so mad after waiting. Ugh.
You're that person. Yeah, you know what? I've done that for when Lord of the Rings Return of the King came out. I saw a midnight screening of that. When the last 2 Star Wars movies came out, I saw like the earliest showing you could do. I did the marathon to get like the first showing. So yeah, it's kind of cool knowing for like 10 minutes you know what everybody else doesn't know yet. Mm-hmm. And you kind of want to blurt it out to them. Han Solo's dead! Like you want to tell them that so bad. He's fucking dead. But you know you can't do it because you'll start a riot.
Yeah, people would hate you.
But well, like for that movie, for example, I saw it, the sneak preview the night before, and then I went the next night and took my girl to go see it. And I'm in the theater and I'm like, oh, this is where he dies. You're like, none of these people know, and you're just like, I want to watch their reaction. He's gonna fucking die. Yeah, that's like the worst thing ever. That's like the most dramatic thing I've ever seen in cinema history is Han Solo dying.
And then they're gonna come out with the Han Solo movie.
It's
so
a Han Solo movie. We
it's
get to see how it
gonna
all
be
started.
Mm-hmm.
Comes out the 25th of May. I'm excited.
cool. Me too.
So, all right, guys, that's Death Talk. So that's all we can say is Death Talk. You come back from the ashes like the phoenix rising above whatever you called it. So,
Thank you.
moral of the story is embrace each other, love each other, because you don't know how long you have left on this earth. Some of us have 92 years like Barbara Bush, and some of us have not 92 years. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.